Today I wanted to give an update on my case for silver, and I think I start off by saying, by looking at the economy a little bit, we have 1 in every 5 Americans unemployed, if you look at the actual stats, not what we're given by the government. And we have about 1 in 8 Americans on food stamps. Now that's not looking so good. Neither's the 10 million homeowners upside down in their mortgages. And we can thank the Fannie and Freddie and Federal Reserve for that whole mess. And then last year we had 3 million foreclosures, and this year we're looking at 4 to 5 million more, because we're just hitting the back wall of the eye of the storm that we've just been in the eye of the storm here for the last year and a half on the housing mess. And now we get a whole bunch of resets. It's going to take us through larger amount of resets than we had from the whole subprime mess. So that's what we got to look forward to. Now there's a saying that I really love. It says, a prudent man sees danger ahead and prepares for what lies ahead, while a simpleton goes blindly into the storm and suffers the consequences. Now that's kind of funny, but kind of sad in a way, because a lot of people, that's how they take on things. So anyway, I get to my case for silver here. You have gold and silver being used as a medium of exchange over the years. There were other things used. There were cattle, bananas, seashells, a whole list of things. I mean, the cattle died, the bananas rotted, the seashells broke. Gold and silver have proved themselves to be the best medium of exchange that there's been throughout time. So that in itself gives them value. And then there's the supply and demand. I heard Dave Ramsey say that dirt could be used as currency or medium of exchange. Well, I don't know how well that would work. There's quite a bit of dirt everywhere. But gold and silver take sweat and tears to get them out of the ground. So I think they're a little bit better than dirt. But anyhow, right now on the planet, there's less silver available for investment than gold. Okay, sorry everyone, but I'm gonna have to hold the camera. I tried to have the camera sit there and film me, but not really working out. So anyhow, silver actually is the best thermal conductor, the best electrical conductor, and the most reflective metal, or out of all the elements, out of all the natural elements, it's best for those 3 things. And then it's the second most malleable, being pounded into different shapes and stuff, next to gold. So, silver is very valuable, and it's been used up. We've been outstripping silver for the last 20 years. We've been using more of it than we're taking out of the ground. We're taking about 600 million ounces of silver out of the ground every year. Now, something else amazing that's been going on, I don't see how you could not be buying silver right now. It's 17 something an ounce. If you're following what's going on with the CFTC and the Andrew Maguire and the whole GATA thing. That's totally amazing that's finally come out. But, it may take a long time for something to actually happen. There's about $110 billion, I believe, in silver investments. Well, you multiply the $17 an ounce times the 600 million ounces being pulled out of the ground each year. It's only like $10 billion, $10.2 billion. So where's the $110 billion in silver investments? Especially if we've been outstripping silver for 20 years. Well, it's all paper. That's what's coming out. It's 100 to 1. paper to every ounce of silver. So most people call up, you know, they persuade them not to get silver in the first place because they're not going to be able to get a lot of fees off them. But if they insist on wanting silver, then they'll give a bunch of paper silver. Most banks, they don't go out and buy physical silver and put it in their vault to back up the paper silver. That's just not what's happening. I guess they thought they could take their fractional reserve banking and just take it over into the futures metal markets. I mean, that's what's going on. So, you know, silver should be much higher. I mean, silver actually should be 1-to-1 with gold. I mean, I know it sounds crazy to think of silver as $1,000 an ounce, but it's just always been thought of as a poor man's gold. You know, gold's always been more rare. Well, it's not more rare anymore. Silver is what's more rare. And when people start to find this stuff out, I mean, silver's a huge investment. You know, and a preservation of wealth. Gold's still a preservation of wealth. It's just the upside in silver is so much bigger. I'm not trying to put down gold. You know, I don't know when it's going to be, but it's not going to be long before we run out of silver. In around 1900, there were 2.5 billion ounces available. I heard from one source. And now we got about 300 million ounces available. And this whole thing with the manipulation, you know, JP Morgan said to have about 192 million shares short. Well, it's only like a 300 or 400 million ounce market. And if they got 192 million ounces that they're short, one share being an ounce, but they got huge control over this market. And that, you know, that's why it's not allowed to go up to where it should be. I mean, I truly believe that silver is potentially the greatest investment of a generation. You know, and this is all what I'm talking about, is besides the whole thing about us being on a fiat currency, a paper money, that they've blown up, and that's about to fall apart too. You know, I'm sure a lot of you have seen all the videos and are aware of what's happening with the paper money and how it's being inflated. I mean, so there's so many things in the case for silver. I mean, you have to be buying silver. I just don't know how you couldn't be buying it.